session.
Calling this meeting to order. Would you please stand, and Mrs. Drake is going to lead us in our invocation, followed by our pledge of allegiance by Mr. White.
Father, we thank you so much for the opportunity to be here this evening. And we ask that you would give us wisdom and discernment. We ask that every word that comes out of our mouth would be pleasing to you and would be in line with your will for the Biloxi County School District. Lord, I ask for a hedge of protection around this district for all employees and students. Lord, I just thank you for the safety you've provided over the years, and we just want you to keep us safe, Lord, from all harm that would try to come to us, Lord. And we thank you for the blessing of the new elementary school. And Lord, I just pray that it will be a haven for those students. We ask all these things in the mighty, precious, holy name of your Son, Jesus. Amen.
Please join me in the pledge to our American flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 1.3, notice of meeting guidelines, and seeing no members of the public here, we will skip that and we'll go right to item 3.1, update on new elementary school / renovations. Mr. President, do you have something for us?
Sure. Well, of course, the new school is rolling. There are a few things that we're still working on. Our swipe access and our cameras, they're almost in place right now. And that should have, I'm hoping by the end of the week, that should take place. We've got a slow start because the NCD couldn't get in there until after we actually were at substantial completion. And then once we did that, we were missing a few items, some power supplies, different kinds of technical things that I'm not real well versed on, to be quite honest. That's Mr. Thomas's area, not mine. But we are taking care of that. We're totally within our legal, statutory safety measurements as far as the school goes right now. So the cameras and the swipe access, those are additional safety measures. As far as the what's going on with rehabbing the older buildings, the old fifth and sixth grade building right now, I've got it just about totally cleaned out. There's a lot of stuff that was in there. A lot of stuff was left, a lot of garbage. But we've taken all the furniture out. Westglades and Moorhaven came last week, and they took a lot of stuff. They took shelving, they took desks, they took chairs, they took tables, they took picnic tables, yeah. They took a lot of stuff. In fact, Westglades is over there for a second round right now. And they brought their custodians with them too, because they're looking for other things that they can utilize as well. Dr. Barfield has a walkthrough for the public to look at what's left if they want to purchase that Thursday, February 5th, I think at 5 o'clock. Is that
I
right?
don't want to do that.
I'm sorry, tell
Let me check my date on that one more time.
what is happening
I
on
thought it was
Thursday?
Thursday.
moved it up.
The public. Oh, is it?
Oh,
You moved it up? Yeah, you did move it up. It's actually, it is a Thursday. That's Thursday, January 29th. And then the sale starts at 9 o'clock on Saturday, January 31st.
Okay, hang on a second. 5 o'clock on January 29th
Yes,
is the public viewing,
yes,
but you won't be able to purchase yet.
according to Dr. Barfield, that's correct, yeah.
Okay. And so then on
The 31st,
31st, you'll be able to purchase.
yes,
What time?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
So it's not an auction on the 9th, it's just you can show up and purchase.
You can show up and purchase them.
So the prices will already be on.
They've already started pricing things. They've done general pricing, like, I don't know, a desk might be $3 to $5 or something.
Oh, yeah, there was something on Facebook or something about,
That Saturday, the 31st is Catfish Festival also.
Auction would be great, because you miss out by this purchase, because I went to the last one, it was, early bird got a worm, and by the time you got there,
Yeah.
the best stuff was gone.
Auction is the very best, you get the most,
Yeah,
it's good for
as long as
selling.
you get them there, if you don't get competition there, you can actually lose.
Well, getting all that stuff out into a place to do an auction like that, right now, our plan is to move whatever furniture's left into the hallways, just so people can
You
walk
can
the
do a
hallways and take a
walkthrough.
look at it.
You don't have to, you can walk through with an auction, if you have a good auctioneer, they know what they're doing. My husband could.
Yeah, no, that's,
it may be too late to change that, and,
I think we're all set with what we.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was just making
And I
a
think
comment.
she said in her post that you buy it, you move it that day, take it with you.
we did the same kind of thing, when we were cleaning out the old shed, the old bus garage.
Yeah.
Where people came and they bought it and took it with them and stuff like that.
That's what I'm saying, I missed the good
I
stuff,
missed the good
I
stuff.
went to that, I was too late.
So, according to the construction company, February 5th, they're turning off the power and the water to the old school. And February 9th, we are starting
Demolition.
some demolition. We'll start actually with the 5th and 6th grade building, the tearing out all the inside of it and preparing to rehabilitate it.
Has the 6th grade moved over there yet?
There is no 6th grade is still at high school. But
I see it on our agenda, I was just wondering if,
well, that discussion is for next school year. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But, yeah, so we'll start with that. Our latest right now is we felt as though with where the money is, we're probably not gonna be able to save the cafeteria. And instead, we're gonna use, what half it will cost to redo the roof, to build, just a storage building.
what about the equipment in there though?
Well, that's a good question.
Because it's worth money, a lot of it.
That's something we plan on storing and stuff. Or if at some point we do want to try and have a culinary classroom somewhere, we would have that available.
So we have a place to store it.
Right now, yeah.
Well, we're gonna build a place to store.
We are, but we'll put it in the Ritchie building until we
In the
build.
meantime.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah, we're putting, a lot of stuff in the Ritchie building right now, including, a lot of the smart boards that were in the old building. We're gonna take several of them to West Place because they need replacements, and we're keeping the other ones for replacements in other places. So,
I know the high school got one too.
Yeah.
I heard.
yeah, and the high school's gonna get, I think, one or two of those TVs are in there too. Yeah, so we're making good use of the things that are there. Any questions on
Any
this?
other questions for Mr. Graza?
No, no, ma'am.
Okay, you may want to fire me as board chairman, because I've already skipped a very important part.
Just go.
You're not getting fired, I can tell you that.
I skipped over 2.1 approval of minutes of the, board meeting from January 8th.
I move to approve those minutes.
And I second.
Any discussion? Motion by Ms. Drake, second by Mr. Lucky. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion approved. Now we'll move on, because I think Mr. Gresseth is not up next.
Yeah.
Item 4.1, presentation of Office of Schools, Safe Schools Quarterly Report 25-26.
Yes, school statute says that the school safety specialist has to report quarterly as to the number of school inspections that have happened, and if there was any problems that were had. The state did not come in during this quarter and do any inspections. I haven't done my inspection yet. I usually wait to do the third quarter, the fourth quarter to do it. I let the state come in first. The state did come in first quarter. They did visit the high school and the elementary school. but they have not visited Westlake or East Indiana yet, so I'm assuming they're probably going to do that. But as of right now, there were no inspections, and of course, there are no deficiencies either. So,
Sounds good.
Thank
Any questions for Mr. Griffin? All right, item 5.1, public comment on agenda items.
No.
Seeing none, we'll move to the consent agenda. Now here, are there any items on that agenda that we need to pull? All right, I will take a motion to approve items 6.2, 6.1, 6.2, and 6.3 as the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion by Ms. Pierce, second by Mr. Lucky. Any discussion?
Yes, I want to say thank you for the travel expenses wording. Perfect, perfect. Even I could get it. Thank you so much.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Unanimous. All right, item 7.1 on the action agenda, approve the relocation of 6th grade from Moorhaven Middle High School to Moorhaven Elementary School, effective for the 2026-2027 school year. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Ms. Pierce, second by Ms. Drake. Any discussion?
Yes, was there, a second time made available for the public? Because originally that, and I just didn't know because I never heard.
yeah, I just talked to, we just talked about that last Wednesday.
Yes, it was last Wednesday.
And did anybody, and where was it?
I was here. I was the only board member that showed up. And Carla said, "What are you doing here?" Carla and Dr. Barfield, of course, were here. We had 2 teachers show up and the reporter from Fox News. That was it.
And then I did see the Fox News story.
I did too.
Yep.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
so with people showing up, were there questions? I mean,
The 2 teachers that were here are both, from the elementary school, and they were, totally in favor of it.
Good.
Thought that it was a really good move for, those kids, their maturity level and so forth.
And I attended the first one. I was the only board member at that one. And everybody that attended, there were no parents, there was a grandparent. And the reporter really wanted different parents. She was a bit disappointed, so to hear that there weren't parents at the second one too. But I think she went out in the community and found her some parents.
yeah,
But the fact that no parents showed up to either meeting, to me, kind of shows that they're for it,
Everybody's
or
for
they
it.
would have been here.
If they were against it, they would have been here.
It's the same thing with this boardroom, it's empty all the time because everybody's for everything we're, I mean, whenever there's a problem, that's when they.
Yeah. And they were given 2 different meetings to choose from. They were given all the space on Facebook. I honestly didn't read everything on Facebook. Dr. Barfield read some at the first meeting. I think she indicated at that point there were no negative comments at all on the Facebook post.
I never saw
anything there,
anything
negative.
negative.
Okay. My question is about the sports, because that came up, and that was a concern that I had, because I have a little bit of inside knowledge on 6th graders playing sports at our high school. And Dr. Barfield indicated somewhere, not to me personally, but I heard her say that she appreciated the input from the coaches. So do you have any insight into that?
I was gonna ask you if you had any further insight.
That is the only issue that concerns me, because we're small and we do have 6th graders play varsity sports.
I think Moden Baker's.
Not varsity, but
JV.
JV, yeah.
Or
I think
junior.
so.
Moden Baker's, something about on Facebook, you could go back and look on.
That
what
must,
she
I
said.
think that is who I read, Mona Baker.
But
But
she was
Mona
saying
was
that
in favor
there
of-
is a way to
Yeah.
do this.
And I think that means they have to just do like our youth athletic organization in sixth grade. Or Dr. Barfield mentioned at the first meeting that the elementary school could possibly get its own number from
We've been
FHSAA.
trying for years, so it's not gonna happen. I'm not saying it's not gonna happen, but I can imagine.
Well, I didn't know we'd ever tried for that.
We did
Okay.
in the past.
Okay, but I don't know, that's the only concern I have is sixth grade kids not being allowed to participate. And the weird thing was, I believe the sixth graders at West Glades can. And that is an inequity there, because they have their own number at West Glades, Florida High School number. But since the elementary won't have its own number, that didn't make sense to me. So,
Well, I just was skimming through, my phone, I was looking at the news and stuff like that, and one of the articles that came up, I didn't get to read the whole thing, but they talk about FSHAA and how many of the schools are in the rural classification have bailed out of that and gone into their own different conference. And really, they're looking right now probably at getting rid of the rural and moving all the rural schools back to off to 1A again. Because
you mean FHSAA is looking at
Yes.
doing that?
Yes.
Cause it was simpler, the 1A, 2A, right?
Yeah, well, it was simpler, but the rural actually gave an advantage to some of these other schools like Moorhaven that, aren't quite as big. And so could play for a state championship, but FSHA, and what I just briefly read, that within their minutes or whatever, they have to have at least 24 teams. I think they're down to 18 that have said that they're gonna stay in the rural. So I don't know, I'll send you that article, but
Dr. Barfield did say, she mentioned that other new conference. She said most of the schools in the consortium have already gone to that new one. But we're in a contract with FHSAA.
And how long does that contract last?
She didn't say. But in other words, we've gotta stay with them, I guess, to at least till that contract runs out. But again, if parents of sixth grade athletes were worried about it, they would have shown up and they would have been calling and they would have been saying, maybe they don't understand that or realize that.
Well, it hadn't hit them in the face yet. These
Right,
are fifth grade parents
Yeah.
that are supposed to be thinking like sixth grade parents and they're not there yet.
Right. So anyway, that's the only reservation I have, and I don't think it's enough for me to vote no. I mean, I do have that reservation, and what I hope we do is work it out. I hope that we will figure out a way, if we have students in sixth grade at Moorhaven Elementary that don't have anywhere else to play, that the High School Athletic Association would give us a waiver for them or do something special, because it wouldn't be fair for students at West Glades to get to do it, but not students from another school in our district. That, totally not
We'll
fair.
figure it out, we got a little time.
Yeah, and it'll be rare that we have a sixth grade student.
even like a sixth grader came yet to play here, play football.
Okay, so that's two schools that can play here.
That's,
We had sixth grade volleyball players from Indiana.
that's because they are FHSAA registered schools.
Right.
And I don't think the elementary school could be because they're elementary. The only reason Hamiata and West Glades can be FHSAA schools are because they're middle schools.
Right.
I don't think the Florida High School Athletic Association has anything for elementary schools. So we may have a situation where those kids wouldn't get to play.
Right. And I would hate that, but I think the pros for it outweigh even that, because I personally think it's a good thing to move them back, for every reason but that one.
Yeah, I do too.
That's the only stumbling block for me.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous decision. Okay, moving on to, item 7.2, approve the engagement letter with King and Walker, certified public accountants for the internal accounts audit for 2024, 2025.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Pierce. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Lucky. Discussion?
I
My
just,
discussion is I wish it didn't cost $10,000. That really,
and
That's an awful lot of money.
it is.
But we're kind of stuck because we're required to do that. By policy, we have to have that audit. If you could find a cheaper audit firm. But I can tell you, after being the treasurer for the Glades Education Foundation and searching for cheaper, CPAs, good luck.
You get what you pay for too.
well, with that in mind, I thought it was interesting to note that in their contract, they let you know that they use third outside parties. And, so we're paying them and to save a little money or help them with time, they're actually, subbing it out.
That's not unusual.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous decision. Item 7.3, approval to add a policy workshop and executive session to the February 5th, 2026 budget workshop to convene immediately following the budget workshop.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Pierce, second by Ms. Straight. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
7.4, approval to change the Glades County School Board regular meeting on March 5th, 2026 to March 12th, 2026 at 9 a.m. I have a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Lucky, second by Ms. Strake. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item number 7.5, approval to change the Glades County School Board regular meeting on March 4th, 2026 to March 26th, 2026 to March 24th, 2026 at 4:30 p.m.
That's
Do I have a motion?
Larry.
Motion by Mr. Lucky,
Second.
second by Ms. Drake. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And item 7.6, approval to change the Glades County School Board regular meeting / budget workshop on April 9th, 2026 to April 7th, 2026 at 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. respectively. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Pierce,
Second.
second by Mr. Lucky. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Aye.
I think everybody said it, we just said it in little pieces.
One at a time.
Bits and pieces.
One, aye.
I didn't give you enough time, Mr.
No, I was just fixing my calendar.
And I was fixing mine too. That's why
Okay,
I stated.
Any general public comments? Superintendent's report? Nothing. Board member comments and business? We'll start down on the other end with Ms. Drake.
I just have a couple things. I already thanked, I thanked Carl for the agenda, clearing up that travel, thank you. I wondered, was there any update from the IRS issue from Tommy that came and met with us?
Not
Do
that
you
I
know
know
anything about that?
I do want to add to that though.
Okay,
You know how they have their public,
They're calling.
Their call in?
Mhm.
Well, Stella was listening, she was on the road and she was listening to the radio. So I don't remember if it was exact call-in or a discussion about the call-ins, but now our representative is having a meeting and some communication with the IRS, and he's opened it up to all of the constituents. If you've had issues, please call his office. So when Stella was telling me about this, my dad was sitting there in the living room with us and made him happy because the IRS had taken 10,000 and taken 5,000 and didn't give it back. And so he got 5,000 back, but not the 10, and he just finally was done with it. So then he was excited because at least now the representative is gonna listen and
It's
maybe.
Franklin, right? It's a,
Scott Franklin, yes, Congressman Franklin, yes. Anyway, I thought, and I sat there and I said, well, I want y'all to know something, and it was the school board who got that ball rolling, because a week and a half ago, we met with this fella, and now he's, anyway, I was proud that we had brought something up with the IRS, and Scott Franklin is now seeing that there are other issues with the IRS, and he's opened it all up to all his constituents to let it be.
well, he had actually done it before our meeting, but I like that you think it was all because of us. Because it was
great.
in his newsletter, IRS,
Oh,
we
okay.
specialize, and I had
Well, I was
actually told her
excited.
that, and she was with him, we both must have read it at the same time. So,
Well, that deal about if
but I'm
you,
sure we're very important.
the deal about if you ever you're doing your taxes and, they owe you some money in the years past, you've owed them money, and they say, well, you just wanna leave this here and it can go towards next year. My advice, based on the experience that people in my family has,
No.
don't. Because when the next year comes and it doesn't happen.
We did that with $26,000 and we haven't got it back yet.
Yeah,
It's been 6 years.
So it's been 10 and 5 with my dad. He got the 10, but the 5 didn't. And there's I'm getting on another tangent, but the point is, take advantage of these times when they happen, because.
Well, I will add to that our church has had an issue with the IRS. So the church doesn't pay taxes, but we pay in taxes for our employees. And there's been an issue ongoing for probably over a year. And I gave our secretary Tommy's contact information and said, call this guy, he'll get it all straightened out for you.
We're gonna get that IRS, aren't we?
We're gonna get them.
Somebody needs to.
They don't have to answer. When Stella and I were young marrieds before our children were born, we were getting $800, $900 back each year. And then one year we're supposed to get $900 back, and we got back $260, and there was no explanation, and you can't get a hold of anybody, and that's it. That just doesn't seem right to me, anyway.
Okay, what else do you have on this strike?
Okay, I was just wondering if we had any update on the ballot initiatives. Have we heard from Mr. McKinley? Is he working on that? We cannot drop this, Sean. We gotta make sure this gets done.
He is,
Working on it.
We had conversations yesterday.
Oh, good.
And this morning, we can't increase millage, so we're trying to figure out how much within that millage do we want to open up for the board of use. That's where we're at right now, trying to get that language correct.
We just gotta copy what we had. That's all we gotta do. We've had it for years. We just dropped the ball one time. I think there's a cap. I think the state tells you it's 3% or something. I don't know what it is. It's a percentage. You can't use it all,
Right.
but you can use a percentage of it.
The state does tell us.
Yeah.
I
think it's what-
There's
it's all-
guidelines, we gotta follow with that.
Okay, I just wanna make sure we're still keeping on top of that. I did wanna update the board, and Dr. Barfield has been in an email string on it, so she's aware. She asked me to contact my contact at the collaboratory regarding possibly helping us with pre-K funding shortfalls. I did, I reached out, and, we're trying to set up a meeting now where,
The lady at the collaboratory wanted some more details about pre-K. She seems very interested in helping us, so I was very excited about that. And it's gonna be 2 weeks before we meet, but maybe by the next meeting, I'll have something for you. I also just wanted to say that the J.J. Wiggins Memorial, I told you guys they were gonna do scholarships for the kids. We've got all the transcripts, all the applications received, and we have verified 20 students in our program that are Glades County residents who are eligible. So we will be writing a check to FSW for 20 grand for our collegiate program. So whenever you get the bill, I will give you the check. Do you do that? Will that be paid electronically or
No,
in an envelope?
what I've learned how about our local bank is when you do an ACH payment, which is what, like my car payment used to get pulled out, if I paid it off in your light, my light bill comes out. I set it up so that we could do it, and it was slower than us mailing a check, and we researched why, and what happens is I submit the ACH payment, then they print it off and write the check and sign it with the mail.
My check pay, I bank with Seacoast and they do the same thing. It's a literal physical check in the mail. I do mine electronically, but they still do the,
Yes.
mail.
My-
and I think it's a
my bank sends
difference,
it-
cause some of my stuff that I set up with the vendor is automatic.
Yeah, I don't know why we can't just.
But the bill pay system is different, but anyway, okay, so what I wanna do, the reason I ask is I don't want our check to them to get in the wrong place.
But
So I want it to go in the envelope with the school
When
district
I
check.
get the bill
The bill.
from you, I will have the check made, and we'll deposit and mail.
Okay,
And what semester is this?
okay, it'll be for this current semester,
Okay.
so, and it will be from now on, that's how it will be handled, from now on. We're still working with the Moorhaven Scholarship Organization on theirs. They had some hesitancy about it because they're gonna have to change their bylaws and it'll be right up. And they were worried about a lack of support for the student beyond high school. So they have a valid argument about what they're worried about. So I don't know if we're gonna be able to get their $750 a semester or not, but we got some, so. That's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Ray. And we appreciate you, lobbying for us to get money from all of these different places.
Hopefully, Dr. Barfield will be successful in her lobby to get that, capital improvement money. That'll be a lot bigger than this and a lot more helpful.
Be awesome. Ms. Pierce, do you have anything?
No, not much. I'm here, I'm back. I'm cured, supposedly, so
Mr. Lucky?
I'm glad to be here.
Just happy to see Mrs. Spears. And I don't have anything.
So the only thing I have is just to say, you know, we're talking about sixth graders being able to play sports. We have a basketball team that's doing really well. I think our girls are undefeated at this point and have a game at home tomorrow night if anybody's interested. I don't know how many points Juicy has scored after she met her 1,000, but,
What time is the game?
I don't think she's slowed down.
I believe the
They
game's at
changed,
7.
they changed it, it's 6.
Is it at 6? Okay.
And I know that because my granddaughter plays on that undefeated team.
So I need to-
Same.
Yeah. I
In
love it.
7th grade on varsity.
Okay, so, yeah, but she played in 6th grade, didn't she?
That's what I'm saying,
And I have no problem with saying 6th graders can't play, you know, because it's rare that one would.
and they don't get a lot of playing time.
What I do have a problem with is if Tamiota students and Westlake students can and others can't, that seems.
Well, I wanna add, like, I've listened to y'all say that, but I want you to know in 2004, 2005, 2006, and 2007, West Lakes didn't have the opportunity.
But weren't they when did we add the middle school over there?
Well, it was a combo school to start with. It was K-6, and then the next year was K-7, and then the next year was K-8. And in none of those times, now, then in 07, 08, it was a middle school before.
Right.
But in 07, 08 is when we formed, I was gone, but I had children there. So I'm still saying we because my kids were middle school age the year after I left. So then they were able to, so these so-called inequities do happen sometimes, and it wasn't a horrible thing, Ms. Drake. Wasn't horrible, nobody was crying, but I mean, I say we, no, when I say we, I'm not saying we as the former principal, I'm saying we as a parent. But then we did what we could. I mean, that's part of, wow, I'm going to a new school. Not every new school gets everything. Things have to be worked for and timing, and there's a reason a school's great. And sometimes a school's not great because it has access to a sports team, And the other thing is, making it available and then trying out and making the team is still something else. So if a sixth grader is I still see it as a sixth grader is eligible to try out. And I don't know if that's what y'all mean, but when you're speaking, because I'm not trying to correct anybody, or do you mean have the opportunity or have the right? Those are two different things, because
They wouldn't be allowed to try out, is my understanding.
The difference is that at some point, and I don't know the years, at some point, Westglade School said, we want to have an athletic program. So we're gonna create a volleyball team, for example. So they joined the FHSAA, and they became an FHSAA school. But they didn't have, at that time, a football team. Well, they don't have a football team. But if one of their kids wants to come over here and play football with us, they
we're
can.
part of the same state affiliated
Well, it's
organization.
because they're in a school that does not have that team, so they can come play.
Well, now you can play on any sports team you want,
If I remember right, something happened here before I got here, where a student who is on a varsity team as either a sixth or seventh grader at Morehead High School transferred to Westglade. And that student wanted to continue playing at Morehead Middle High School. And I believe the superintendent at the time approved that.
I think that was Scott that did that.
Wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, I remember,
But,
I remember that. And Mr.
and-
Aldridge had something to do with the very beginning of Westglades too.
And then it kind of opened up for students at Westglades to be able to play at Morehead Middle High School. And there was a little problem with that. And there was something about that Westglades didn't have a FSHA number or something like that. And so, we were looking at possibly having to forfeit some games because we had Westglades kids.
Ineligible players.
Now, as far as not having a team, at one point, there was a charter school rule where if you did not have a football team, you could play at the local high school. I don't know if that's changed within the last couple of years where it's any middle school. I don't believe that's true, though. I don't think any middle school, if they don't have a football team, they can automatically play at the local high school. I didn't know for children, I don't believe any middle school kids play on their high school teams, their debut or anything. I think it had to do with, you had to have the number, you had to go through all the hoops in order to be able to do that, because we were able to do that now with the Westglades kids.
Yeah, so we found out that we were out of compliance, but then we rectified the situation and now we are legally
Correct.
allowed to let
Yes,
them.
yes.
Yeah, that's the same way I remember it.
But, there was discussion, I think, Ms. Promo, you brought that, where they were middle school, and I think that's where the hitch is gonna be. I'm not sure that an elementary school can get an FSHA number.
Even though they include a sixth grade which is traditionally a middle school grade, is still not considered, like in their school grade,
Right.
it's gonna be an elementary school.
Didn't that whenever school choice
Can we use the same
came out?
FHSA number at that, so when the freshman campus started back in, I know that was nineteen ninety-nine, the ninth graders, and it had its own school number, but they were part of the high school's umbrella, they kept the same, I don't know if the rules changed, it was 1999 when I was coaching high school football.
But
That would be
that's when the
great.
transition from junior highs went into middle schools. It used to be K-6 was all
Yeah.
elementary.
But tell me, am I wrong, whenever school choice happened, didn't they do sports choice, and where kids from another county could come play on our football team?
Well, that did start in
Yeah, I mean,
the
that's been
mid,
like 5 years ago, right?
no, the mid-nineties. You gotta remember, Tim Tebow was one of those as a high school student,
Okay.
and he's in his
Well, it
mid-thirties
affected
now.
us about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but.
Yeah, he was one of the first big ones. He
He was a homeschool.
School choice.
Yeah, he was homeschooled, right.
Okay, but-
Yeah.
I mean, it's just within the last couple of years that, like a student who lives in Mobile
Couldn't come
can
play.
play sports
Right.
in Clues, Clues.
So, I mean, our kids could go play on another team somewhere, but it doesn't have to be youth athletics, not.
I think there's still some rules and parameters around that.
Right, there is.
And the
You're right.
Christian schools, the private schools, there has to be, it's a numbers, if you got so many students in your school, and it's a complicated formula.
But we'll look
You
into
can
that.
go to any school you want now,
Mhm.
Are we still
as long as you transport.
Right,
But the sports is a little different part of that.
right.
If you're not gonna change schools, but we've had that, we've had some kids,
You've already had it.
Well,
I don't know.
I
it's
don't
just
know, I haven't
something
looked at
that
it
we
yet.
need to look into,
It is,
and
yeah.
if it ends up that they can't play, I think the benefits of them being in elementary school.
But I think the local, the Glades County Athletic Association did something to pick up the, where, you know. Yeah,
So
they made sports available to all the students of all ages, is what I'm trying to say. Where we didn't have it available in the schools.
I got one more thing. That's it.
Absolutely, go on
I
ahead.
think I'll go ahead and say that right now. I think it's appropriate to say congratulations to Mr. Radeball. Mr. Radeball has been offered the position of superintendent of a small school district in northern Arkansas. He's planning on starting there July 1st.
No.
We're very excited for him, and he's very excited.
When are you
for
leaving
that.
us?
At the end of June, I'm under contract.
Oh, okay, it's not tomorrow.
No.
Thank
He's
God.
not gonna be an HR person and then break a
That
contract.
makes me sad
Very
for
sad, me
us,
too.
but happy for you.
Well, and I was gonna bring it up at the next meeting, because their board meeting is on January 29th, and you know how boards can change their minds, so. But they're already sending me links to houses to buy, and I already did their master schedule.
What is the county?
Boone County, Arkansas.
Boone, cause I
Boone County and Arkansas.
have family in North Arkansas.
Right on the Missouri border.
Yeah.
That's where he's gonna be.
Diamond City, Lead Hill, Harrison, it's about
Harrison.
35 minutes south of Branson, Missouri.
Now,
Okay.
Mike, is that close to where you're from? Is that?
It's about 4 hours north of where I grew up, but I have a lot of family up in that, it sits up in the Ozark Mountains.
Oh,
We're happy for you.
Are we?
We're happy for him, we're not happy for us.
I'm really trying, I'm really trying.
Yeah.
You are stretching my Christian values right here. I am happy for
You have a
you.
lot to do before we let you
Yes,
go.
Yes.
we're not anywhere near where I want us to be, and I finally came up with the right, way to explain what we're doing. And I think people can get it this way. If I had a push lawnmower, and I had to put gas in it, I know how to crank it up, and I know how to mow. And I can look at it, and if you gave me all the pieces, I could probably put one together. But if something breaks in it, you really gotta take it apart and peel it piece by piece to find the broken part. And that's, and we're making progress every day, it's just a slow progress.
But you're gonna have it done by June 30th.
We should, well, we're,
No pressure.
we, currently, we are on the pace to be, which I told you guys before, to be above the 3% that the state requires by June of 2027. We are on that appropriate pace. So if the dog goes in the live 5 miles together and 5 miles back out again. What we're doing now is trying to make sure that when I bring you a report, you know exactly where everything is. So because if it's just listed as Fund 1,000, Function 5,100, and then Object 1,200, that's a salary. But as the revenue comes in, it's all in salaries. It should be 20% of this person's salary should be here. It should be tied to this school. It should be, so that you can see if each school is running, rather than me pull those people out individually like I did last year and tell you what each school is doing. We should be able, I should be able to run a pivot table like I showed you last and show you each school and show you what we're spending on, in insurance. I should be able to pull a pivot table each month and show you what we did this month, that month, and then what the percentage that is remaining at the end. So that if any budget revisions need to be made, then those budget revisions come before the board as they should and not just be done. And come before, I want to take, I want to revise the budget to say this, I want to revise it. That's where I want you guys to be. That's where, if I end up saying, if the board says, no, we changed the money, and I'm still here, that's where I want us to be. I want us in July 1 to be able to crank the lawnmower up and it don't smoke and it runs straight forward, so that it's running really good. There's quite a bit there, and you just find more every day and keep working on it. That's.
Mr. Redball, when will you have
I sure
another?
wish I was faster because I know that you need to see that. And I'm not an expert, I'm just trying to tear the lawnmower apart and figure out how to fix it. That's all that's the best way I can explain it to you.
When will you have another financial report for us?
Well, our budget workshop is on February the 5th. To me, I hope to have the rough draft of the revised budget that I want to present to you on that day. So that.
Not in the meeting, but in the workshop?
Right, in the workshop, so that I can show you, this is, for instance, one code line had a budget revenue, a budget for an expense of 1.4 million, but the revenue is actually 886,000. And so in the revenue, it's at 1.4 million, which is why whenever you look at that 50 million, that's some of those things that the revenue we're actually bringing in for this particular line item, this 886,000, but in that budget, it showed it was 1.4. Where did the 1.4 come from? So I've been working with NEFAC, with Adam Sager. We talk regularly, and the report that I can run, I can pull the original budget, then the revised budget, then I have a column of that's blank, well, it's not blank now, but blank, and then what I want it to be, so that I show what the change in this budget is going to be and what it should be at the end. So if we're going to decrease it by 400,000, or if we're going to increase it by 7,000, I want you to see where the increase decrease is, and then what the revised budget. So you'll see the original budget, and then the revised budget that I didn't revise, it was just copied over. Our original budget is exactly the same as the revised budget. So I'm making another column to show the amount of change that needs to be made for each line item and what the actual revised budget should be.
Okay.
And it's,
The reason I ask is, by policy, we're supposed to see the finances every month.
Yes, you are.
And we've got lots of gaps in that, and I understand why, it's not your fault.
No,
It is definitely not your fault. But I'm saying we're responsible
Yes.
And we need to at least see what you're working on, you know?
I showed you in the January
I know
meeting,
you did.
the actual activities, those are true. And I gave those to you at the last meeting, and I'm going to give you those every month, the actual activities. I think I did that in December, in January, and then one, two, in February. What needs to be changed is the budget amount, because you don't wanna think you've got 1.4 and then you overspend by $600,000. So I want that part to be right, so that we'll know when we're getting close to the end. And then when we get ready for the budget for next year, we can say, we don't need to budget that much.
Right. We were supposed to be under budgeting. That's what we were told was happening, but
Well,
under budgeting revenue.
as I'm healing, the COVID assistance funds ran out at a particular time, and rather than, so there were people that remained on the payroll, and then that's what kind of started the.
And we were told no one was hired with COVID funds, repeatedly told that.
It's not that they were hired, the funds may have been used for something else, but there was additional people here because we weren't using it. They weren't actually probably hired with those funds, it was just, we had more people than we had kids.
It was ESSER funds that we were using for new hires.
Right, that's COVID.
And we found that last spring, and I brought that to you, that's probably at the 1.5.
I'm so grateful for what you've done. Please don't misinterpret what I'm saying. You have been a godsend to the district. Without you, I probably would have resigned, to be honest with you. Without you stepping in.
Are probably the
Well, all of
godsends.
you, your team. I mean, really, you've been a godsend.
Thank you.
And I'm very, very grateful for you and the way you took the bull by the horns and were not intimidated by it. And you just figured it out. And I will be forever personally grateful for that. But I am gonna miss you terribly, and I really don't want you to go. But I understand.
Are we planning a party?
I think we should.
I think we should too.
A party,
It's
that what you said?
Yeah, a going away party.
we'll wear black, we'll all wear black, and we'll wear black veils, and we'll be all sad.
And it's,
All right, any other comments?
Oh, yeah,
We're still
yeah.
recording, so.
a big piece, was that part of what I was doing as the HR is the like getting our teachers with their ESOL endorsements and I wanted from the temporary certificate to the professional certificate we were getting to the end, we were actually losing teachers and the certificate, and we had so many that were out of field that we were talking about that. So we were building the PLCP program that our teachers could enroll in, which takes care of that. And at the instant that I had to start doing this, Wendy grabbed that by the horns and just made it 10 times better than it ever was. So Wendy took a huge load there.
Thank you, Wendy.
You're welcome.
Thank you every day, Wendy.
Yeah, and he
Both of you
did
guys
the
are
majority, he
serious.
did the majority of the heavy lifting on that. He made it easy to take over, so
But thank you.
you're welcome.
for your assistance.
Anything else? Meeting adjourned.
When you turn the video,
Yeah, and Wendy, I have a question.